Alrighty, my friends, what is going on, everybody, and welcome back to another live stream here this morning. Hope everybody is doing alright. Glad to have you guys here once again. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys our little special guest here for today's video, as well as always to my kitten, who is definitely trying to fight to get back down. But this is the cat. Like I said, this is the one I did that poll for, actually, in the community tab. She is quite the handful, and she's trying to fight me just to get down. But there's the kitty, trying to paw at you guys for help. But anyways, guys, just as a little bit of a, just kind of future reference to kind of show you just kind of the growing cycle, I guess, because it'll be pretty cool to see, just how, little she was at one point. But anyways, everybody, welcome to another live stream. Hope you guys are doing all right. Let's see, Devin's here. We have TRG Tornadoes here. Megan is here. Stormy's here. And it's crazy because Stormy, that's actually one of the name options I have for my cat. One's Doppler and one's Stormy. Let's see, future meteorologist Mia says, hey, what's up? Hope you're doing good. Raining here in southern Illinois. Yeah, you guys are actually getting a lot of places here across like the Ohio, Tennessee Valley. Actually starting to get some rain. I mean, actually quite a decent sized system, as you can actually see. Yeah, clocking across portions here of the Ohio Valley. They're actually in the portions of the Midwest too. It's actually pretty crazy here. Let's see. I'm traveling. Will there be tornadoes on the 13th in Pine Bluff, Arkansas? You mean, is it Bluff? I guess you would talk about. So here's the thing. So we are indeed expecting some severe thunderstorms right off the bat here. For, like I said, the 13th will be, I believe, let's see here. Just trying to make sure here. So yeah, the 13th, there will be severe thunderstorms for portions of Pine Bluff being possible. According to the Storm Prediction Center here, we actually do have that risk there. As you can see, you're probably going to see this cat going crazy behind me. So if you see anything, then obviously. But yeah, there is actually a risk here for severe weather. Actually, there's a 30% upgrade. That's a pretty big deal here for day 6, which honestly, I probably should have updated that to red for potential heavy impacts. And you can see that, like I said, this categorical outlook goes up to 30%, and they maximized it coming here for the 13th. That being on Tuesday. So we're going to have to watch out for that. Obviously, severe weather is expected for Tuesday, actually starting Monday, Tuesday as well. I believe Wednesday could have some severe weather possibilities, but honestly, right now, there is nothing according to the Storm Prediction Center, which we're going to, continue to update you guys with here. Let's see here. Chris, the Hurricane Tracker, says hi. What's up, Chris? Hope you're doing good. Cameron says, is Nebraska safe from severe weather Monday and Tuesday? when a big system comes. So for the most part, yes, Nebraska will be safe regarding the severe weather, although there is concerns regarding winter weather impacts, and which I'm going to go show you guys here really quickly. We switch over here to the models. But there is actually the risk of snowfall. And could it be potentially heavy? Honestly, yeah, it looks like it could be pretty interesting here. I'm just going to bring up the precipitation type in right here. Anyways, but we track our way down here. As you can actually see here, Nebraska, according to the latest models, and with that central low really tracking from like the upper elevations of the Rockies moving in towards the Central Plains, really is pretty crazy there. You can actually see, so yeah, especially western Nebraska, that's kind of the concern for snow. Also areas in the north, like North South Dakota, Minnesota, Wisconsin. Now the trend is that maybe even places like Michigan could see some snow. Honestly, is a possibility here. But honestly, this is still a few days out. Obviously the models are going to be shifting back and forth. But regardless, this is going to be quite the impactive system here. Like I said, we have the low stationed across the Central Plains here with a lot of snow potential. Right here on this back end side. This is where the colder air is located. And all of that warm air is going to be pulling up here from the Gulf of Mexico. Warm and moisture filled, and wrapping around the system, basically fueling a bunch of precipitation for the north. And then that colder air is going to turn it from rain into snow. So that is the big potential there. Obviously, with that colder air pulling back behind this system here, this is going to cause some interaction with that warm air that's trying to pull up north. So with that being said, this is going to have two sides of nasty weather. Like I said, as mentioned before, the snowfall across the north could be pretty nasty. As we were looking yesterday, some of the models were actually showing potentially up to a half a foot of snow for some of these areas. We're going to dive into that here in a minute, but anything regardless, but like I said, it's forecasted to be pretty interesting. And like I said, obviously severe weather will be a concern. Now the severe weather side of things is mostly going to be a concern for roughly these areas here. Right across portions of the southeast, as this cold front does continue to push its way here to the east. Now, in regarding to the snowfall, like I said, as mentioned before, it's mostly these areas that are in our concerns regarding the snowfall across portions of the north. Like I said, if you're in the North and South Dakota region, Minnesota, portions here of eastern Wyoming, we're talking literally Wisconsin as well. Those are the grounds where we are likely going to be seeing some snowfall. Potentially decent totals. Honestly, really not too bad for a little system here to be moving through. I say little whenever in reality it's actually a pretty big system here. But regarding things, like I said, obviously it is pretty nuts. We have a very large trough. Basically a big dip in the jet stream that's going to be pulling its way across the country. As you can see, a very large and very nasty looking trough is going to be moving through here. As mentioned before, that low pressure is located right here across the Central Plains. We have a lot of warm air pulling up here from the south, and we have a lot of cold air pulling down here, a lot of warm air pulling up from the south and a lot of cold air pulling down from the north. And obviously that is going to influence some colder temperatures once the system drives through, this being that cold front there. Let's see, now models are showing 2 feet in North Dakota. Let's actually look at that. Honestly, that is kind of interesting. Now, like I said, guys, what you're about to see here is not a final word. This is not a final word. This is just an idea from the latest models. Anyways, yeah, that is actually pretty daggone nuts. So we take a look here for the system. That's showing the potential of, wow. Yeah, I remember yesterday I was actually making a mistake of showing the first system. There's actually a first snowstorm that's actually expected to move through here literally in the next few days. We're going to look here on the future models and stuff. But with this upcoming system, seriously, this could be dumping some nasty totals. According to the GFS model, as mentioned before, once again, this is not a final word, but as mentioned, according to the model, seriously, some of these areas here could see well over 2 feet. TRG says now models are showing up here at 2 feet. This is actually showing near 3 feet in some areas here. But like I said, this is still not final word. This is just an idea. The European model in comparison, this one doesn't go out as long. We're just going to drop down to 00Z. But this one also honestly does kind of show maybe up in order towards 2 to 2.5 feet of snow being possible. This could be historic on many levels. And like I said, I say that in concern because, like I said, regarding the severe weather, regarding the snowfall, this is going to be pretty nasty. And like I said, this central low pressure system is expected to actually just kind of stall out across the north, according to some of the models here, which is actually really, really crazy. But taking a look here back at the other site I use here, you can really see how that comes into perspective. That big trough, you can see that low pressure system really starting to pull through. This is the NAM model. This one doesn't go out as far, but you can start to see how the mid-range models are starting to actually pull in some information here, which is pretty daggone interesting here. And you can obviously tell here, like I said, with that going on, big cold front moving through across the way, and then obviously the snow for the north. That is obviously going to be a big thing. Like I said, that low pressure system is actually kind of forecasted just to kind of stall out across the north, which is going to be pretty interesting to see. Let's see here. Courtney says, hey, what's up, Courtney? Hope you're doing all right. Let's see here. How is 56701? 56701. This is in Minnesota, right here in Thief River Falls, Northwestern. So for you, honestly, yeah, we got to watch out for snow. The blend of models regarding the accumulation here over the next several days, we're just going to pull this up to the 15th here. Kind of shows, I mean, you honestly could be in line for maybe near a foot of snow. According to the models here. You are seriously in the line for potentially significant snowfall. So really watch out for that there. Seriously. So T-Bear, please stay safe. And if there's anything we can do, I'm going to continue updating you. Like I said, if you want to check in later on tonight, we're going to be doing 2 live streams. We're going to do one obviously right now, and then another one here probably around the night, around 9:30 or so, just to give 2 updates in one day. Because this system is going to require multiple updates. You know, because this is a big deal. This is a very big, nasty system we're talking about here, which is nuts. TRG says GFS is near 40 inches, and Euro's like 32. Yeah. Let's see here. Vezer says, will West Virginia be good during the event? So as of now, yeah, West Virginia should be fine for the most part. There's really just not much happening. You see West Virginia over there. Regarding snowfall, I mean, honestly, really not. That's kind of towards the end of the model there, so that accumulation is not really valid. But honestly, yeah, nothing really happening across the way. There's no really threat of severe weather across those areas, so you should be good. But speaking of the severe weather side of things, let's go ahead and dive into more of these. Things here. So taking a look. Moving back over here towards the overall energy in the atmosphere, you can see, let's actually switch this over. Let's see, T-Bear with a $5 super chat. Thank you so much, T-Bear. Greatly appreciated. Seriously, it means a lot to us. Thank you so much for that. Very, very greatly appreciated. So seriously, thank you so much for that, T-Bear. Did not have to do that. But like I said, a lot of that energy really starts pulling north here on Monday. The cold front, you can obviously see tracks by here. I mean, honestly, if we're being realistic, I'd even say that severe storms could be possible. I mean, seriously, around the entire south, or a lot of the southeast, especially towards the coastal areas. Once again, T-Bear, thank you so much for that. Seriously, greatly appreciated. That's super, super generous of you. But like I said, a lot of that energy will be in place here, for the thunderstorms to really start kicking off here on Monday. So we're going to have to continue watching this. Now, in regarding to the other, things that's necessary for thunderstorms to kick off here. Like I said, those dew points have to be in the 60s and 70s. Like I said, honestly, preferably 60s and 70s. Upper 50s will work too. Anything lower than that is meh. But here's the thing. We have plenty enough moisture here at the surface. I mean, we're seriously talking those dew points here are in the 60s and honestly near the 70s at its maximum, which is going to be pretty interesting. So we have the instability. We have the energy that's in the atmosphere to allow for thunderstorms to fire off. We have the moisture that's needed for thunderstorms to really carry on. And we also do have even potentially enough moisture to allow for tornadic storms to happen. And like I said, that's the next topic here. We have some very strong winds pulling to the north across those lower levels of the atmosphere, mixing in with those warm, those dew point temperatures in the 60s and 70s. Also, with all that instability that's there across the country. we have very, very strong winds across those lower levels, pulling up here to the north. And as we move up in elevation, as we go up into the atmosphere, those winds actually tend to change to the northeast. So what that is saying is that we have a bit of wind directional change, and this could actually allow for spin to kick off in the atmosphere, obviously allowing for potential rotating storms, which we call supercells, could be persistent here across the way. So we obviously have got to watch out for potentially tornadic storms. So everything's in line. We have the energy, we have the moisture, we have the winds. Everything is in place here for all types of severe weather being possible. Now I'm going to grab a sounding across portions here of the way. We're going to go ahead and grab a sounding across portions like Louisiana, and we're going to take a look and see what is expected over across these regions here, just to grab a brief little look at this. We're going to zoom out just a little bit. So here's the thing. So our hodograph, as you can see, is it kind of has a hook on it. You all see that? That's really indicating that turning motion with the winds. You can see here at the ground level how they're pushing north, and as you go up, they push northeast. That is going to allow for rotating storms to form. Obviously, we have enough energy in the atmosphere. The storm tops are going to be around a little above 12 kilometers here for the most part. How tall these thunderstorms could potentially get is showing the top level, the equilibrium level, right there just above 12 kilometers. So that's obviously going to be pretty high top thunderstorms, maybe potentially 35,000 feet or higher. Regarding some of these here, there's dew points here in the upper 60s. Mixed layer cape could be better, but we have enough energy to allow for thunderstorms and potentially severe thunderstorms because the wind shear really makes up for that. You know, those strong winds really make up for the limited amount of instability we do have, which obviously, regardless, still potentially could throw some nasty weather our way. But like I said, that's just a sounding here from one model's output. But like I said, a lot of that warm air really starts pulling in here towards like Texas. For Mondays, you can actually see here we have that advection really start pulling up here on Monday across portions of Texas. We're going to grab a sounding here just east of Dallas-Fort Worth region. We're going to go ahead and take a look at that here right now. Once again, a very, little bit of a hooking hodograph there representing that wind directional change here. The winds aren't as strong as compared to that other model as the system does strengthen. That's before the system really starts getting its kick. But there's a pretty dry atmosphere, could allow for some hail. As you can see, the big gap between your dew points here in the green and your actual temperature in the red. This is actually a vertical perspective, by the way. This is up in the atmosphere, 12 kilometers there. We have 15 kilometers here, and that's the ground over here. So obviously there is a big dry gap of pretty low humidity across the central portions of the atmosphere, allowing for potential hail growth to occur. Dew points here in the mid-60s, perfect. That's definitely good enough. We have a lot of energy here in the atmosphere as represented between the red and the blue dotted lines. If the red line is on the left-hand side of the dotted lines here, that's showing that there is energy in the atmosphere, in which we do have a lot of energy pretty much mixing throughout the entire atmosphere, which is good. Mixed air cape, over 1,000. That's definitely good enough instability to allow for thunderstorms to kick off. And deep cape, that's basically our downdraft energy. You know, what that warm air goes up, that cold air must come down. And regarding to that cold air coming down, that's your downdraft energy. And that is going to potentially drive some nasty damaging winds here, potentially up to 60, 70 miles an hour. It could be possible according to some of these soundings here with over 1,000 mixed layer cape, with over 1,000 joules per kilogram actually there in those downdrafts, which is going to potentially bring some nasty winds on top of that tornado threat and on top of that hail threat. All hazards will be possible regarding tornadoes, hail, and damaging winds. Does seem to be a big concern. Like I said, in regarding to the entirety of the system, there is a very large amount of impacts that's expected. Regardless, like I said, obviously we potentially could see well over 2, maybe even up to 3 foot of snow across the north being possible out of this. I mean, like I said, the models have been blowing up here. I did make a mistake in last night's stream. I was not looking far enough into the future. But there we go. We take a look here at the National Weather Service blend of models, basically a bunch of models just kind of blended together, averaging out snowfall data, or averaging out snowfall totals and stuff like that. Most of these areas here, in this kind of maroon red shaded color, is expected to be in that 12 plus inch range, potentially getting up well over a foot. North, South Dakota, Minnesota, you better keep your eyes open for this. Also Nebraska, potentially could be seeing some nasty amounts of snowfall out of this. This is seriously going to be a kicker regarding winter weather and in regarding to severe weather as well. So we got to really be watching out for this. Once again, the timing of the system really starts to kind of kick off here from Monday, moves into Tuesday. Tuesday is expected to be the worst, moving into Wednesday, and then by Thursday and Friday, it should be moving out for the most part. But like I said, we got to be preparing for the worst here. Like I said, I'm not trying to throw any fear. I'm just letting you guys know well ahead of time to prepare. now is the time to really start preparing for the system, to really keep an eye on it in regarding to things. So we're just going to keep on watching this, my friends. We're going to make sure that you guys are staying up to date with this. Like I said, we are going live again later on tonight at around 9:30. So if you guys would like to hear more on this information, make sure to check us out here on our channel. If you have not already, consider hitting that subscribe button, my friends. It'll be greatly appreciated. You guys absolutely rock. Thank you all so much for being here. But that's a quick little update here this morning. I'm not planning on doing anything too crazy right now, but later on tonight, we're going to be doing a much longer live stream here regarding potentially over an hour. I'm wanting to talk maybe 1 to 2 hours tonight about this. We're going to continue to inform you guys. So if you have not already, as mentioned before, consider hitting that subscribe button. It'd be greatly appreciated. You guys absolutely rock. Thank you once again for all your support here. If you guys would like to help us out by sending us a donation, take a look at the link in the description. It'll help us out, guys. Greatly appreciated. And like I said, obviously our merchandise and stuff like that's in the description as well. Once again, thank you all so much for joining us here for tonight, or for this morning, I should say. I'm used to saying tonight because I always go live during the nighttime. But I just want to give you guys a little quick update this morning. Pretty early here for the most part. So that's what we're going to be doing here for now. But anyways, my friends, once again, thank you all so much for joining, and we'll catch you guys here in the next one later on tonight. Make sure you set an alarm for 9:30 because we'll be heading live for you guys then. All right, my friends, thank you all so much for joining us, and we'll catch you all here in the next one. Peace out, you guys.
Lows in the 50s, highs in the 60s. Tuesday night and Wednesday, mostly cloudy. Chance of showers in the evening and overnight. Slight chance of showers until afternoon. Lows 35 to 45. Highs in the 50s. Here is a look at high and low temperatures for the last 24 hours, as well as 24-hour precipitation from selected locations around Arkansas. As of Thursday morning, at North Little Rock, the high yesterday was 59, and the low this morning was 53. The 24-hour precipitation was 0.37 inches. At Little Rock, the high yesterday was 62, and the low this morning was 57. The 24-hour precipitation was 0.58 inches. At the Hot Springs Airport, the high yesterday was 68, and the low this morning was 60. The 24-hour precipitation was 0.43 inches. At Harrison, the high yesterday was 54, and the low this morning was 49. The 24-hour precipitation was 1.32 inches. At Pine Bluff, the high yesterday was 71,